Why we don't care about cost per click formulas. I think this vanity metric needs to be dispelled. If you're just coming around to exploring cost per click and using that as a medium of exchange for the cost of your marketing, you are going to go down a path and an expensive one. It's not where your marketing budget is going, it's really what is your marketing budget doing. So it's the outcome. It's not the effort that you're doing, it's the outcome, right? You're trying to associate a cost to the outcome of what you're doing. So the emphasis of cost per click is very broad because you're trying to basically encompass a whole world, your whole industry, into a sense of a number, an amount of money that you're paying. And it varies because you're going to neglect a lot of relevance here because cost per click is declining because there's better ways to report on the outcomes of your marketing. It used to be vital, but it started to shift to more relevant metrics such as what is your rate of return on investment, what is your lifetime value. If you know your lifetime value, what your customer is going to do for a long period of time, it's going to really pay off. And performance insights, cost per clicks don't always translate into sales. You can come up with a number that, I get 100 clicks, that means I'm going to get 1 sales. Sure, that's fine, but it's anecdotal. It's not based off of anything real because everyone's business is different. You're just associating meaning to some numbers that you think are running your marketing when in fact it's more of an astrological approach to marketing. It's not a strategic approach to marketing. It's not what Zima Media does. We look at the same numbers that you do, and if it's not set up correctly, we'll at least inform you on where those opportunities are, which dashboard is more effective, such as Shopify has really been impressing us this year by all the different additions they've been doing. In this blog post that we talk about, we don't care about cost per click, we specify this little case study about industries, right? You can check it out here, but every industry is different. Give me an industry and I can pull up a couple keywords that your competitors are running against it and tell you how much those clicks cost. It could be a couple cents, it could be a couple dollars, could be 50 or more. It really depends. And that's somebody that's coming to your website. Is that person guaranteed to leave and come back again? Well, it really depends on a bunch of different dynamics in your marketing campaign. But at the end of the day, you want to capture that lead so you can try to make that sale. That's a more meaningful metric. How many leads are you getting, right? At least you can associate some sort of a value there. But the lead pricing is also another form of astrology because I have a case where we had a client in the construction industry and they were running pretty good. Their SEO is doing great, but their ads, it's always running into the same thing because in construction, there's a lot of competition. There's actually third parties that are competing for leads so they can sell it back to the construction companies. With a construction background, I know how brutal these industries can be. They were getting a lot of leads from irrelevant places, irrelevant targeting, and they didn't really want to go to those regions because, they were just outside of their service area. And even with all the tightening of the screws and all of the optimization that we can do in Google Ads, it still leads to this kind of a result. If you're getting 60 leads and 30 of them are bad, then you're double paying for those 30 leads, right? So you want to eliminate those 30 out of those 60 that don't do nothing for you and just focus on those 30. But it doesn't always work out to be that way. The thing that really irk the client is this goes through fulfillment, proposals, and you have to go through a lot of filtering. And as convenient as technology is, there isn't a lot that you can improve upon besides having a human filter these leads and put them into an Excel sheet or however you handle that. You have to understand it's all about the quality over the quantity, and you have to measure that. And if the quality is good, then you have a really good makings for a campaign that's going to succeed, and it's going to keep working for a while because things change, right? We have those clients that come to us like, hey, we've been running it ourselves for 5 years and something broke. But if you're getting good quality and you're getting good results, obviously the clear path is to invest. into your campaigns, but you have to use better metric. Maybe that lead metric is a little fuzzy too, but what's really changing and what's really changing the game too is AI bidding supremacy. AI is using automated bidding strategies, which basically takes into consideration a bunch of different touch points, hundreds of algorithmic touch points that Google has on any user. And it's going to run that against the advertising platform, and it's going to run that against the advertisers, the quality of your ad, the quality of your landing page, the quality of your ad score, some of those real metrics, which for a time they were vanity metrics from the Google side of things until they improved their AI, which is why you have to put some emphasis into improving the quality of your website and things like that. It's not, the one idea I want you to walk away from this video is Google Ads isn't going to do all the heavy lifting. It's not going to do the reporting if you don't set it up. It's not going to process those leads. It's not going to invoice those leads. It's not going to close those leads. It's not going to pick up the phone to call those leads and make sure they're at least going through the proper stages of your funnel to convert. If you can set up the tool properly, it's going to make sense. So if you can't use cost per clicks, cost per lead, mileage may vary by business and industry, especially industries in a big one. If you're in LA, New York, or Chicago, you're going to have a harder time to compete, but not every industry is saturated in those markets. So it's all about your intelligence that you have going into this, and it's all about the consistency. You'll hear that one a lot. So as we're shifting from cost per click to ROI and LTV we've been talking about, then we go into even more advanced directions to rate of return on ad spend, to where you put your marketing budget in and you get your marketing budget out, and it turns into some sort of bottom line metric that then you can start understanding what percentage of your marketing costs is going into advertising and what percentage do you want to increase it, decrease it, because cutting results is also an ill-advised strategy. Don't cut results when your marketing is actually hitting, even if your lead metrics are fuzzy, but you can compare results over time, which is why conversion tracking is important. If you're tracking really good conversions and you plugged in advanced tracking, and every time that lead renews, and you can sync that with Google Ads, which you can now, you start building a better composite of what your marketing budget's doing, right? It's not just a fixed, I'm spending $100 a day and it's going to Google. It's an investment, right? You're getting something out of it, profit center that you're growing in your business. So if you have all of that dialed in, you move aside from cost per click, you start ignoring really like the lead costs, you're getting familiar with your ROI, you're getting really good at starting to understand your lifetime value, because once you have the lifetime value, it makes the scope of your vision, your business, and the opportunity at hand that much bigger. You start moving to ROS, where you're actually getting more pressing data. And this is very relevant in e-commerce, which moves a lot faster than lead generation, because at some point in lead generation, it's really that LTV is really important. But if you can process a lot of leads, you can even do even more advanced metrics, such as profit on ad spend. Again, this is something that will benefit e-commerce businesses more because of the volume and the flow of traffic that they're getting. Because for lead businesses, there's a point of failure. That point of failure is the business, because you have to close those leads. In terms of e-commerce, you can still get a share of the market. You can transfer yourself into what metrics make sense for my business if I'm a lead generation business, or what metrics make sense for me if I'm an e-commerce business. Going uphill. The takeaway here is there's a lot of data that your website is collecting, your campaigns are collecting. If you're confident in your data, when you can start having a conversation about growing your campaigns and maximizing the results, because everyone wants to squeeze that lemon so hard, but you have to also have boundaries that Google Ads is only a tool. And it's one of the tools in your marketing toolkit. It's not the one thing that should change your whole business. It's one thing that is just adding to a part of your business. In a nutshell, that's why we don't care about cost per click. It's a vanity metric. As I was saying, it's astrology for your marketing. You have to really get down to profit, sales, revenues, acquisitions, because that gives you hard numbers you can invest with. That gives you hard numbers you can put into a business plan. That gives you even harder numbers going into a room if you're trying to make some bold decisions about the direction of your business. So I'm going to leave you with one idea is if you're uncertain about your metrics and you think these vanity metrics are going to really make a long-term impact on your businesses, you have to take a step back and tell yourself, does my funnel, does my analytics, does my tracking, does my conversion tracking, does my CRM, does my technology speak to my Google Ads? And plugging in your marketing into the technology that you're using is really important. So don't overlook that. There's automatic tools there as well, which can cause conflicts. And that's one of the most complicated parts about the journey in digital marketing. It's also one of the easiest because it can be set up relatively quickly and effectively. Also one where you have too many cooks in the kitchen, where we had another client and they did one of the gravest things that you don't do in track. When you're working with Google Tag Manager and Google Scripts, they generally don't recommend duplicate scripts to do the same thing for obvious reasons. If you install a lot of plugins on your website, it's going to slow it down. That can piss off customers. There's a correlation between slower websites means fewer sales and results. It's just a fact. The faster your website is, the higher correlation to success you have here. And if you do trust the numbers that you have plugged into your dashboards, this is the ammunition you need. This is how you're going to invest your business going into the new year. If you're confident in your metrics, you're ready to invest. If you're not confident in your metrics, well, then you need to test and plug it all in together. And that's something that I can help you with. And let me know if you have any questions about your analytics, and just drop a comment here below and I'll be happy to answer it. Thanks for watching.